Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
Love is being soulmates, really.
In Islam, marriage is a fundamental part of a Muslim's life. It is widely accepted across all schools of thought that getting married is half your faith.
Half your religion if you marry, and that is a huge thing that my parents also believe in.
However, for Muslims, finding a life partner in Britain isn't the easiest of tasks, especially when you are observing the faith while searching.
To find someone that you physically, mentally and emotionally connect with is so difficult.
12 wonderful people have agreed to embark on a unique journey with us, not only to share their experiences and struggles in finding a life partner, but also to learn new things about themselves along the way.
I feel that I'm ready now to share my life with someone. I just hope that it happens one day.
If I was to meet someone else, I'd probably take it very, very slow.
Does marriage being seen as more of a religious duty distort one's judgment in seeking a life partner?
I think you say you're looking for a wife, but I don't think you are looking for a wife.
With divorce always being a risk, could some be about to make the same mistakes again?
Don't look for someone who's like you, look for someone who's going to complement you.
This journey isn't about matchmaking. It's an insight into how 12 British Muslims are dealing with the struggles of trying to complete half their faith.
My ideal lady is someone who is, you know, who is I can picture it, it's difficult to describe, you know.
Matloob is 39 and looking for a wife to take along on life's amazing journey. He wants someone who will let him be his true self without being judged.
I'm looking for somebody who's got a strong faith, somebody who's not materialistic, trying to help society, to help the ummah and help the world. I think now I kind of understand what kind of person I want in terms of, you know, the outlook. But to be honest with you, I just want somebody genuine, down to earth. I'm very open-minded. Yeah, I just need someone that's genuine, really. Faith is definitely an important role because that's who I am.
Matloob was raised in Halifax, West Yorkshire, but he always knew such a small town wasn't big enough for his aspirations.
62 right now, and we're heading towards Halifax, where I grew up as a child. Dad kind of came here in the 60s. He was about 17 to 18 years old when he came to England. He studied here at the same time. He used to craft in the factories. My parents were quite chilled in terms of, they come from a very Sufi background, so religiously they were quite laid back. This is People's Park, and this is where all the fun happens in Halifax. All the melees, all the kind of, you know, events, community events will happen here. It's overlooking the college I used to study. Yeah, got a lot of memories here, you know, growing up. But the dark side of this place is that this is where all the kind of youth hang out, you know, at night. There was a stage in my youth I got involved in a few gangs, and I really wanted to get out of this culture zone in Halifax. I really wanted to really excel and progress in life.
Matloob feels getting married overseas would be an easier option, but the real challenge for him is getting married at home in England.
I want to be able to unconditionally trust someone, unconditionally love someone. So that's the biggest issue I've got at the moment. I do a lot of business in Malaysia. I do a lot of charity work in Kashmir and other places. I'll be honest with you, there's girls there, loads of them want to marry me there. You know, I'm like a dato in Malaysia and all that. And it's like, I'm a sir, and they're after me there. You know, I had to run. I was in Ramadan, I was in Malaysia in Ramadan. And the two families were already trying to hitch me up with a 21-year-old, right? So I kind of just flew out really quick. Yes, I'm finding it difficult in this society, but other societies, it's very easy for a British guy to get married. And the reason why I don't pursue that is because I want to give it a good shot here first.
He has many friends who are both male and female, one of which is Iram, who feels she can shed some light on this situation.
Well, I've known Matloob over 10 years, and I met him through work. He was my first boss. I never worked for anybody. Well, with Matloob, to be honest with you, he's got a lot of deen in him, but he's also got a lot of freedom. He's not very strict in his ways. If a woman can really understand him and not control him, Matloob's a very easygoing person. But once a woman starts accusing him and starts just little arguments and stuff, he will withdraw back because he only takes once, twice, 3 times. He's got a lot of patience, but there does come a time in Matloob's life he will walk away. So you don't underestimate him, to be honest. Don't underestimate him.
However, due to Matloob being divorced, it is a concern that he may be going into his next marriage with the same requirements as last time.
I'm married for the sake of Allah. Yeah, I'm married because I chose Iman over everything else. And I'll be honest with you, although I had 6 years of a rough marriage, although I'm now divorced, the pain, the difficulties, the challenges, you know, it was all worth it. Yeah, and we've come out of it, become stronger, she's come out stronger, you know, I'm ready to move on, much stronger. I'm very much into social work, you know, social entrepreneur, into charity work. So I'm looking for somebody who's, you know, going to be a similar kind of, you know, outlook in life. I'm not really putting any certain criterions on this time. I'm very open, I'm very open-minded.
Matloob's mum is also concerned about the difficulty in her son finding a wife.
This is Matloob's mum, so I'm going to ask her in my language because she won't be able to reply back in English. It's very hard to find somebody these days to compromise with. Matloob ne experience kis tarah riha cha kahne ho je jara search karna kal horna usne vich ka gala. She goes even to search for a daughter-in-law as regards as she sees Matloob searching, it still is very hard. Yeah, even the younger kids are seeing Matloob's experiences. It's harder for the younger kids as well now in the family.
With family expectation adding to the pressure, could Matloob be making the same error again by focusing completely on religious aspects?
So I think this time round, I'm a bit chilled. Faith is definitely an important role because that's who I am.
I think marriage is a big commitment. It's about supporting and supporting.
It's about supporting and supporting.
I get nervous because of the camera.
Isra from Cardiff, Wales is 29 and looking for the right man to complete half her faith.
Hi, I'm Isra. I'm from Wales and I'm a single mother of 2. I've been working in the civil service for the last 10 years. There are times when I feel a bit lonely because the girls, they go to school, they go to Arabic classes and then they go to bed early school days. It is quite important for them to have a good male influence in their lives. So sometimes it gets really lonely in the house and quiet and I just think it would be nice to share your life with someone and have someone who's there, love and care about you like I would with them. The worst kind of person I can imagine being married to would be someone abusive, even if it's not physical violence, even psychological and emotional violence. Someone who's dishonest. I can't stand dishonest people and lazy people. I would have to get to know the person for a while, so it would never be another arranged marriage, ever.
Isra started her road to completing her faith a year ago and she is looking for love.
I thought this time I need to get to know the person before marriage because at the end of the day it affects my children's lives as well. I love swimming, badminton, but I haven't gone for a while. I like going to the gym and I like outdoor adventure. But I've got 2 little girls. They actually even know how to make tea and everything. So we go out, we have adventures here, there, everywhere, and I just feel like I want to give them a bit of time because they don't even have a father figure there. I work 3 days and the rest is like, you know, trying to be there for them.
As a Muslim, Isra's search for a life partner must stay within the boundaries of Islam, so it hasn't been easy to find people in her local area.
It has been difficult because I didn't really have male friends before, so I didn't really know what to expect from how guys are like. Really searching online because I'm not really out there, you know, going to go and talk to someone. And if you follow the religion, you're not really allowed to mix with the opposite gender and your parents will find the best one for you. They'll do the background check and everything because there are bad people out there. I would have to get to know the person for a while, so it would never be another arranged marriage, ever. It's really hard because in our community, people don't understand. They think, you know, if you divorce, that's bad, but that's just culture, it's not really religion. If I start talking to someone local, my family might get involved and they'd want to, you know, hurry it up and get me married. Do you understand? You know, that pressure, then it falls like, because we're family, they'd be really happy if I found someone and just settled down. But with me, I'd want to get to know someone for a while, build that trust.
Isra has resorted to finding people through online websites, which has opened up a host of new struggles for her.
Well, I don't trust men because most are, dishonest. Look, like here's one of the evidence of these guys. So I just they're on this marriage side. It's not a dating side. If nothing, we can just be really good friends. And he keeps messaging, even though I was like, no. And he's like, even though I'm not looking for friends here, then why are you messaging and saying you want to be friends? I've been searching on and off, so it isn't something that's like my first priority because things have been going really well since I've divorced him. Since I've been single, I've had more freedom. I've been able to go places, do things which I hadn't been able to before. But there has been incidents where there's been crazy, deceptive people who are just out there to mess about.
Recent online experiences make it extremely hard for her to trust anyone.
In the past, I have met someone. So I got my brother-in-law to meet him. They got so impressed by the person after, interviewing him and spending a day with him. They went and told my dad and they got the whole family involved.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
Trust is a component of any happy marriage, but for Isra, it is the foundation when finding a potential suitor.
Well, I don't trust men because most are, dishonest.
Her experiences of finding someone online have been negative.
Well, I've spoken to potentials, generally off the site, to be honest. So basically, the dishonesty, and some have been really crazy as well. In the past, I have met someone. So I got my brother-in-law to meet him. They got so impressed by the person after, interviewing him and spending a day with him. They went and told my dad and they got the whole family involved. Well, his family, they were okay, they were accepting of me, and his sister was really nice. But afterwards I find out the guy, he's a bit dodgy, he doesn't even work. He lied and he said he's a teacher. He was living off, disability allowance. He's not even disabled. And, I didn't realise, but he was in the war for Afghanistan and all that. And that did really affect him mentally.
So he was an extremist?
And he didn't come across like that. He came across really practicing and decent. And in the past, that's what I was going for. I was going for someone Islamic, thinking, not extreme, obviously, but someone, I felt like if someone's practicing, if they understand Islam, then they'll be loyal and honest. And
she is coming to accept that she may not need a man in her life.
So I don't feel like I have to have someone, but then there are times when I feel a bit lonely because the girls, they go to school, they go to Arabic classes, and then they go to bed early school days. So sometimes it gets really lonely in the house and quiet, and I just think it would be nice to share your life with someone.
Due to her past experiences, is it easier for Isra to take the stance that she does not need a man? Is it a defence mechanism to rationalise her staying single when she believes marriage is a religious duty?
I guess I don't mind staying single either because, sometimes you just have to be grateful for everything you have and appreciate everything you have. So now I feel like, single life is much better because I'm doing everything I can for my children anyway. So that's why I feel I don't have to have someone unless the person is, decent and loving and caring and understanding.
It appears Isra may have never experienced true love. Can her mindset be changed to help her with the struggle in completing half her faith?
I just want to, see if my negative mindset against men can be changed.
Do you think that's acceptable?
If I still stick by it so far.
I don't believe I can grow on the next level, yeah. I don't believe I can grow as a man and do the great things that I want to do on my own.
Back in Manchester, we are following divorced social entrepreneur Matloob in his search for love.
To me, marriage is very spiritual. It's a bond, it's an institution of Allah. And the most important thing for me in terms of marriage is to complete my life, basically.
He is looking for someone who can relate to his personality.
I want to be able to unconditionally trust someone, unconditionally love someone. So that's the biggest issue I've got at the moment. I've met many people in my new search, and generally what I'm finding is the same old thing again. It's not changed. You know, you're not the right caste, you're not the right money. But even in religious people, I'm finding issues. For example, if I tell them, they're too worried about what kind of philosophy I've got. You know, are you a Salafi? Are you a Sufi? Are you this? Are you that?
Matloob's religion is central to his purpose in life, and this journey was not an accident.
But at the age of 16, I found Islam. And when I found Islam, my life kind of changed. I came across some of the youth groups at the time, and I started studying Islam properly. You know, we started learning what marriage is supposed to be, what Allah wants from me, and how I should conduct myself in society and who I should become. So I was finding my identity.
With marriage being seen as a religious duty, are his requirements religious buzzwords or the success criteria to a happy marriage? To help him think more about his spiritual compatibility, he has come to see John Fontaine, a rising Manchester-based YouTube blogger with over 10,000 subscribers.
If you could choose any woman now in the world, you talk about practicing, how will she be practicing?
I think the most important thing to me would be somebody who can easily become part of my family, part of my life, and complement who I am, and become like my team. So I'd want somebody who's capable of coming into my life and supporting me with that.
What about you supporting her in the things she's doing?
Absolutely.
You're not just looking for a secretary, are you?
I'm looking for someone to come into my life and complement me, and automatically I know I will bring out the best in her, and I will help fulfill her dreams. To revive the Sunnah, and so these are the things that I want to do myself, and I'd like someone who is wanting to be part of that. Not necessarily having to, she doesn't have to be a scholar or extremely pious in that sense.
Are you looking for a wife who's going to stay at home?
I personally believe there's got to be that balance. Yes, she should be active in society, but for the right reasons. I'm an entrepreneur and I set up my own businesses. If my wife wants opportunity, I'll create that opportunity for her within my home, within my companies. I'll if she wants to be a doctor, I'll set up a hospital for her. You understand?
It's clear Matloob wants someone who is faith-based. However, as the night goes on, it becomes increasingly confusing what kind of balance Matloob is seeking in a marriage partner.
I've met different types of girls in the past, some who want to be career-driven and some who want to stay home. So I want somebody who is selfless in that sense, not running after the dunya in that sense. I'm very ambitious, and I want to work with kings, I want to work with governments, and I work with big business people. I travel to Malaysia. I know some of the royals, which I'm getting close to right now. My dream is to work with kings so I can be friends with them, so I can advise them. Although I don't mind her, being a teacher elsewhere in a school, do you understand? But that shouldn't take over her life. Her gaze is hijab, the way she looks at a man, the way she talks to a man's hijab, the way she walks down the street is hijab. A lot of the girls want Mini Coopers, bright red, modesty. So I'm looking for that modesty. I would never stop my wife, going out there and interacting and doing great things. I've seen money, but it's people's intentions behind having that in their hands. So I want someone who's understood money really, who's understood the world. So that's I hope that explains that.
Not really.
No?
Well, I don't trust men because most are, dishonest.
Isra doesn't see herself as an overly religious person.
I'm not exactly strict practicing myself, so I would want someone who's a moderate practicing, not someone who has extreme views.
With marriage being a fundamental part of Islam, it's important to get the right understanding of where religion fits in your search for a partner.
Yeah, religion is very important to me. My relationship with Allah has grown since I got divorced. That's when I felt like there is a good behind every bad, because I felt like that's when I became a stronger person and I became more spiritual, and I realised You know, people weren't always there for us, but Allah was always there for us, and you know, He made me a stronger person.
We have sent Isra across the Welsh border to England's capital to get some insight on spiritual compatibility in a partner. She is meeting with Naseem, a marriage guidance counsellor.
A mix of both Eastern and Western values. It's not someone who's just, you know, I don't want someone who's so extreme either.
What would extreme mean to you?
Someone whose beliefs are so strong that they're not open-minded to what other people's beliefs are, and they're quite aggressive when it comes to what they think is right.
Isra enjoys her freedom, but is worried about something from her past.
The worst kind of person I can imagine being married to would be someone abusive, even if it's not physical violence, even psychological and emotional violence. Someone who's dishonest. I can't stand dishonest people and lazy people. Also someone who doesn't want you to just sit at home. I would want to at least work part-time, and I don't want someone who'd want me to work full-time and, you know, manage all the finance on my own. I've had that issue in the past. Serious, but not too serious. Someone who will want to enjoy life as well.
So what do you mean by serious then?
I mean, like someone who's not so serious that they're strict on everything.
So in terms of your emotional well-being, what kind of safeguards have you put in place that you don't go down that old route that you went through with your ex-husband?
I think I'm more stronger than I was back then, and I'm more spiritual, I think, you know, because I feel like I've built my relationship with Allah more.
I agree, if you understand Islam properly for what it really is, and they follow the path of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, then they would know how to treat you as a woman, as he treated his wives. You are not necessarily stuck with the issues of your ex-husband and the trust that he lost because of his gambling and his behaviour in general and his violence towards you. But other people have also caused that mistrust.
But I am sceptical as well with like things.
So what kind of scepticism do you have?
I mean, like, you know, trust, isn't it? If the trust is there, then it's easier, isn't it?
It appears that Isra is being vague and unclear about what she is looking for.
But what kind of things would you be looking for that would say, do you know, I can really trust this person?
I mean, like, they'd have to have the interest in the deen, and they'd have to fear Allah, and they'd have to be honest, sincere, and I mean, like, someone open-minded and caring, really.
Well, the cliche terms that we use, isn't it?
It's vital Isra is absolutely clear on what qualities she wants in a husband, or she won't find the man she wants.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
There's a big vacuum in my heart, you know, that needs to be fulfilled. I want to share my life with someone. I want to share my success, my failures. I want to share the rest of my life. And, you know, I'm looking for a bit of happiness as like everyone else, you know.
Matloob has come to meet Muslim YouTuber John Fontaine to help him think more about his spiritual compatibility in a partner.
I've met different types of girls in the past, you know, some who want to be career-driven and some who want to stay home. So I want somebody who is selfless in that sense, not running after the dunya in that sense.
However, after an hour of discussion, John addresses an issue directly that needs clarity.
You have to be careful when you're saying you don't mind, you know, the career woman or the woman who's going to stay at home. You know, you'll be approaching people for marriage with what you want. That you have to be specific that, look, you know, I'm looking for a wife who, you know, wants to be at home, taking care of the family, you know, who wants to be looked after. I mean, is this what you want?
I think in any society, that's the critical nucleus of any.
But is it what you want? Get to the point.
I think so, yeah.
John feels Matloob isn't being totally honest in front of the cameras.
Don't just say what you think the viewers want to hear.
I just don't.
You want a housewife
It sounds so like housewife that she's confined. She's not.
No, there's nothing wrong, bro. Housewife is it's the most important job in the world. But you have to be straightforward and honest with yourself, bro. You're looking for that strong family home.
Absolutely.
You know, you're looking for a housewife.
Absolutely.
You know, and this is something you have to be honest with yourself.
I come from a large family, you know. My father's always worked, but my mother's always, you know, stayed at home. Stayed at home in the sense that, you know, she's always supported the children and made us who we are as people. And I think that's a great thing for a woman to do. You know, to educate and create that strength at home.
So this is what you're looking for.
You know, seeing that in my family and seeing that in the traditions of Islam, I think that's what I desire. That's what I'd like to see.
I think Matloob just needs to actually focus on what he wants. I think today, actually speaking to him, it's actually a lot has actually come out. I think he was confused initially into what he wanted, and I think now he's got a focus that he can actually look for what he's actually desiring, which I think is more of like a housewife from a similar culture to his, someone who can actually get along with his wider family. But he needs to focus more on what he wants.
In the end, Matloob spoke his truest words yet.
I think I'm afraid sometimes to really say to people what I want because it's left me single for a long time. You know, it's finding someone that will accept me for who I am and what I want, really. That's what I'm finding a challenge with, so.
Isra has travelled 150 miles to meet marriage guidance counsellor Naseem to get some insight into spiritual compatibility in a partner.
They'd have to have the interest in the deen and they'd have to fear Allah and they'd have to be honest.
Naseem feels Isra should take more time to get to know someone before taking the next step.
She does have trust issues, and who can blame her if she's had issues with her ex? But not only that, when she's trying to find people online, she's had difficulties with people being dishonest. But I'm saying that if you take your time, even over the internet, you would still need to meet that person. I would never marry somebody just from the internet. Perhaps it's more about trying to speak to people via the phone or trying to meet them somewhere with other people, if you need a chaperone. So to try to get to know who they really are, give it a bit of time. And it may take longer, but at the end of the day, it's worth the result if you're going to find someone who you really want.
Like she was saying, you should try and get to know someone for a while, and even though that kind of goes against like the way we've been brought up, but then now I feel like it's very important to know, get to know them. There's obviously going to be limits and boundaries.
Matloob is looking to complete half his faith for a second time.
I'm married for the sake of Allah. Yeah, I'm married because I chose Iman over everything else. I had 6 years of a rough marriage. I'm now divorced.
He wants someone who equally values religion but runs the risk of choosing a wife on the same criteria as before.
You shouldn't have to be a scholar or extremely pious in that sense.
He met YouTube blogger John Fontaine to discuss spiritual compatibility and eventually realised he's not looking for a wife who is career-minded.
You know, you're looking for a housewife.
Absolutely.
You know, and this is something you have to be honest with yourself.
This honest discussion helped Matloob accept that he may not always be himself in front of others.
I think I'm afraid sometimes to really say to people what I want.
Matloob wants to take his partner on his amazing journey of business adventures and charity work, both of which show his compassionate side.
He's got leadership skills. He's a very active person. There's a lot of charity work. If people got to know him, they would really like him.
You know, I've got ambitions and I've got major goals, and I think I would love to find someone that can actually come into my life and not only support me, but actually become one with me to reach these goals. At 12, I started working. I started doing markets. So my dad was a trader, so business was second nature anyway. In 2011, I just started writing ideas of how I want to develop charity work and how I want to make an impact in the world and how I want to make an impact in society. So I created this charity called Amazing Community Projects, all focused on helping people and empowering people to become successful, not in just for this life, and for the afterlife as well. Welcome to the Nur Malaysia Community Cafe in Manchester. It's a combination of charity, a cafe and a soup kitchen. So I came up with this idea 3 years ago. I really wanted to help the community, support people, a base where I could work with the youth, work with the community, a wider community, regardless of background, religion. And so this is it. What happens here is we have monthly events, we have massive curry events where people don't necessarily have to pay. It's basically eat as much as you want and pay whatever you want. So, you know, people can't afford, they'll come have a meal and just give us a couple of quid. We have study groups, we've had a few marriages in here. Business has taken me across the world. I've been traveling to places like the USA and Europe and Malaysia, and it's been a fantastic experience. And I wanted to become a strong, wealthy Muslim so I can help people. When I went through some extreme difficulties, I realised that's not the way it should be. Instead, I should give myself to God. I should just become very selfless, and then success will be automatic. And I learned that from intuition, but generally, you know.
Isra has big trust issues with men, and it's time to find out where this stems from.
My family are cultural, we're from Bangladeshi origin, and my parents are very traditional, and my dad was very calm, quiet. He was very kind and he always wanted to do the best for us. My mum was more the strict one than my dad, so there was always a bit of clash sometimes. My mum was very practicing, so of course it was a big influence Islamically on us. I'm one of the youngest, I'm the youngest daughter, but I do have 2 younger brothers. My parents' marriage was really good. That's what I thought marriage would have been like for myself. I was 18 when I got married, and it was to a distant relative. You just meet them in front of others and you get the opportunity to ask questions. But at the time I was young, I was shy and I didn't really ask much to know if we had that connection or not. At the beginning he was fine, you know, he was loving, caring. He did really care about me at the start.
Soon enough, things took a turn for the worse, and that's when Isra's test really began.
He turned into a gambler, and that just changed him as a person, and he became an addiction, and then he became violent. And I just felt like, why should me and my kids have to put up with that? Because he was really nasty and violent, and he was stealing all our food money, our mortgage money, which I used to have to be the one who's working hard out and home to provide. You know, when I was trying to divorce him, he really did make our life hell, and he was really on my back and stalking us, and he was doing really crazy things. And it just made me think, you know, perhaps I was too soft on him. So he has changed me, and I'm perhaps not as patient and tolerant anymore.
During the search for his first wife, Matloob did not follow the cultural trend of arranged marriages.
But when they were trying to tell me, you know, marry this cousin, marry that cousin, I wasn't interested, to be honest with you, because the whole cousin thing, I wasn't seeing it working.
Matloob feels he has learnt from the divorce.
I'm ready to move on, much stronger. You know, I'm a businessman and I've studied successful people. Failure was part of their life. I've met many people in my new search, and generally what I'm finding is the same old thing again. It's not changed, yeah? People, you know, you're not the right caste, you're not the right money. They're not really bothered about who I am as a character, as a man. Just because I've been divorced or I've got a son, they don't want to know me. No, that's a no. They don't want all that baggage. For me to find a girl in this society that can accept these 2 things, that's the first step. But I think if people marry for the right reasons in the first place, then, you know, things are more likely to work out.
Although Matloob was not interested in family arranging his marriage the first time, he is now open to all avenues.
We've introduced him to several potential candidates, but the criteria of the families has been really, really difficult to meet. The marriages don't materialise.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.
I decided to search again after perhaps around 3 years after divorcing my ex-husband. Part of it was due to, everyone on my case saying the girls are growing up, the pressure, as if you have to be married, as if you can't live single when you can. They're saying the girls are growing up, you should get them father figure now, they might not understand or like the person after. And they'd bring proposals, but usually they were from people from back home, and I just didn't want to go there again. I just want someone with the same mentality. I've been searching on and off, so learning to trust men has been really difficult with so many weird, strange men out there. But then there was a couple who really have opened my eyes and made me realise there are good people out there, and that's what drives me. And
Isra did meet someone she could trust, but the stigma of being a divorcee prevented the chances of further proceedings.
there was one sincere, really decent guy I thought, I could even trust with my children's lives. But then his mother, she wouldn't accept me. It's like, just as soon as she is divorced, it's like as if that stigma attaches, as if you've got some disease or something that people shouldn't marry you, and she won't make a good wife and good daughter-in-law. So it's like, that stigma. I hope like one day, we can just get rid of that stigma to show people, look, But it's like, why do we have to prove ourselves to people at the end of the day as well? So I guess, sisters out there who are disheartened when people reject them because, the mother-in-law, the father-in-law, they don't want them because they're either divorced or widowed. They should think that, it's their loss, because at the end of the day, they never got to see how you are as a person, and it should only matter what Allah thinks of us at the end of the day and who we are. And if we are happy in ourselves, the right person will stand up for us at the end of the day, because, it's, if the person can't stand up for you at that time and, be for you, then I guess, that person wasn't right for you in the start. When I feel stressed or I need to relax, I just have to visit to the Pebble Beach. It's just amazing there. The sea waves, if you listen to it, it's just so soothing, and it just de-stresses you completely. It's very secluded, and just feel very peaceful and tranquility there. So this is the Pebble Beach, the wonderful Pebble Beach that I come to, and many people come to relax. It's a really good place to refresh your mind. When I feel down about things and when I have problems and things like that, I feel like it gives me positive energy just being here. It just kind of clears your mind about things and make you realise the purpose of life. It's not just about all these people that drag you down. It helps me pick myself up again. I don't think I've experienced true love yet, so I guess I don't really know how it should feel, and I guess maybe that's why I'm not too bothered, because I haven't felt that way in the past anyway. But I guess I'll know if the right person comes in my life, then I guess I'll know. But I'm pretty content in my life at the moment, because Allah's always there for us, so I feel like, yeah, when the right person comes into my life, I'll wait till then, yeah.
This time round, Matloob is looking for far more than just love and religion in his marriage partner. Currently, much of his search has been online. So to increase chances of finding a life partner offline, we sent him to a local marriage event in Greater Manchester.
I feel marriage events are great, okay? It's a great chance to meet people. In particular, you can see the ladies face to face. I've been to many before, not really had much success. But now that I've been equipped with, all the, ammunition, I'm hoping to be better prepared. I'm hoping to be more focused. I've had some great counselling, some great advice from the previous mentors, and I'm looking forward to trying these new skills today. I've been to some marriage events before. I've been to this particular event before a long time ago. I didn't really find it appropriate. I was kind of I didn't find the right people, but I'm looking forward to it tonight. I'm looking forward to this event, and yeah. I feel by attending a marriage event that I am making an effort, and I think compared to internet and compared to talking to people on the phones and the social media, I think this is probably the best way to actually meet a lady or meet your spouse face to face. I've registered on this website for this event, and I saw 1 or 2 profiles. The main thing was, I was looking for somebody who prays and somebody who's practicing Islam. And I read briefly, they were very brief profiles. I actually contacted many profiles, and many of them rejected me, and these are the 2 that actually accepted my invitations to have a meeting. This event's going very well, actually. I've just had my first meeting, and she was a very pleasant lady. I think the event's very well organised compared to the ones I've been to previously, and the helpers are very, very, very nice. They're very helpful, and I am really enjoying myself, actually. The people that I've met, I think one of the meetings was quite good. I think I would like to contact the girl again. She's very pleasant. We wasn't really asking too many personal questions. It was very, kind of the conversation just flowed, and we just, had a good chat, really. She's a people's person, I'm a people's person, and we know how to have a good conversation and slowly, get to know each other. I know it's not going to happen in the first meeting, but I think the most important thing is you can hold a conversation, just, get, like the look of someone, and just enjoy talking to them, really. I'm about to leave now, I'm about to go home. And there was a few nice people I met, but I don't think I've really found, someone that I'm going to really, pursue, and keep talking to.
Meet Adeem, president and founder of a popular Muslim marriage website. If anyone knows anything about creating a strong online marriage profile, it's him. Matloob is very active online, so we have asked Adeem to analyse his online marriage profile to see if it is helping Matloob in his quest for love.
A lot about me and less about what I'm looking for. And he says I'm not fussy. Beauty, wisdom, charm, elegance, humility, kindness, etc., etc., LOL. It's very vague. And I think after meeting him is that he is very, very specific. He's not put it on there in terms of being specific. And I think the imbalance as well in terms of he's got a lot to say about himself, but maybe not a lot to say about the type of person he's looking for. Put a lot of effort into his appearance, put a lot of effort into his imagery. On first appearance it looks quite nice, but I think the main weakness here is it's not very Islamic at all. There's nothing in there about his faith, there's nothing in there in terms of what type of individual he's looking for, how important the faith is, the future of his partner in terms of religious-wise, and so on and so forth. And I think that would be really good to have more of that in there. The other thing that I've noticed as well, he seems to send out a very, very short message to everybody. So it's the same template message that he sends to everybody to attract attention to his profile. I think what he needs to do is be specific to their profile and really show interest on their level, so not just send a bland message out that he's sending to everybody.
After analysing Matloob's profile, Adeem feels he has found him a match based on his journey so far.
I think Muslims generally base their kind of search criteria on they must be pious, they must be kind of, they must be religious, but I don't think they actually know what the essence of that means. I think he's looking for somebody who maybe not born in the UK, because he's got a knighthood from Malaysia. He's a global entrepreneur. He's got somebody from an Indonesian background, which I think will be really, really good for him, a good match. It's what he said he's interested in. He's looking for the qualities of his girl. He's very, very educated. And I think there'll be a really good match, personally.
So you want me to try this, right?
Yeah, it might burn mute now.
Okay, here you go. Bismillah.
And
that is nice.
are you sure?
Yeah, absolutely. Not too hot, and it's quite warm. You don't need to heat it up.
I'm a bit nervous.
What?
The fact that I don't usually meet someone unless I know enough about them.
Also, you have a perception about yourself. You use the word, oh, I'm very successful. Well, that in itself is also, I think, a relative term.
Salam alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Hey, do you pray?
Alhamdulillah, I do.
What about Game of Thrones? Do you watch that?
No way. I just finished season 4.
Find your perfect partner. SingleMuslim.com proudly sponsors Half My Faith, All My Struggle.